It's Cardboard Time, episode number 54, and I'm your host, Arwen Kathke. This is just a very quick intro message, and then we will jump right into today's content, which is my top 10 and Roberto Lopez's top 10 of all time. I am so excited to finally have this recorded and be able to share it with you. Now, Roberto and I did record this live, so we're actually going to jump midway in without a proper intro from the both of us because there might be some incriminating things that we talked about at the beginning of the show. So we were just kind of goofing off a bit. We kind of forgot to actually record something official to start off the podcast. So I really love that we just wind up talking about random stuff as we hang out. And I just wanted to get a little bit more of a official recorded, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about, yada, yada, yada. Enjoy the show kind of thing. So this is what that is. We will be back with a more official show format in the next episode, but I just wanted to get this out to you with the holiday season upon us, give you something to listen to. If you need to take a break from all your holiday festivities, here it is. I will have plenty to talk about soon with games Allie and I played recently with our friends Matt and Lori, along with our new friends Bernie and Jordan. We had a wonderful game day up at Tabletop in Cleveland with them, which I'll be posting pictures on my socials throughout the next few days. So look forward to that. Lots about to talk with that. Miscellaneous games played with friends and things that we played at PAX Unplugged. I cannot wait to share those with you. But without further ado, please enjoy Roberto and my top 10 recorded at PAX Unplugged 2022. What's up?
I love this town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been here one other time, but so far so good. This event is excellent, and it's nothing like that.
Yeah, it's
Vibe. It's not that vibe.
It's been an excellent vibe. I really like it. It's very low key in comparison to some of the other conventions that we've had this year, especially like Gen Con, which was just wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Thank you for the food again, by the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry that I couldn't provide any this time, but it was just not happening.
That was the second thing I asked. How are you? Did you bring food?
Did you bring me food?
I really loved that pork. Was it pulled pork, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so good.
I'll make you some more.
Perfect.
I will make you some more. But,
I'm here for that.
You know, if you came to visit, that would give me incentive to go and do that. Because I went and visited your place of residence, and you decided to be on honeymoon instead of being there and being a host to me.
I apologize. I blame Kate.
You're going to put that on her?
I'm just going to put that on Kate.
I'm going to tell her that you said that because that's horrible. How dare.
That was a rescheduled honeymoon from May. We got COVID, and then we had to move everything to October. And when you told me that you were going to be in Salem, you know, I did tell Kate, hey, Arwen's going to be in Salem. Can we move our entire honeymoon?
Yeah.
And she looked at me and, you know, just said, no, we cannot do that. I'm sorry.
Okay. So that's how it was.
Okay. Those are the facts that I just made up.
Yeah. Those were the facts that are completely untrue. Please and thank you. No, it was just unfortunate timing, and I was very jealous of your trip. It looked amazing.
To hang out.
Had
we been there, we would have been together.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. No, and Salem was a really cool time. I really enjoyed the vibe and enjoyed the town, and I will be back. Like, I'd like to go back during the summer when 8,275 people are not trying to cram into one restaurant.
Yeah. And if I go to Salem, it's not in October.
Yeah.
Those photos, and if I implore everyone to Google it. But it gets really crazy down there for October. I mean, rightfully so. Did you go to the Hocus Pocus house?
We didn't. We didn't do a huge amount as far as museums go, just because it felt like that was the touristy thing to do, and we just wanted to kind of hang out and do some shopping and do some of the more local stuff of, what restaurants were there, what cool shops were there, that kind of thing. We did do a boat tour, which was really cool. They had a tarot card reading on there. They had like witchy stories and stuff like that. They also had New England clam chowder, which was phenomenal.
Nice and thick.
It was nice and thick with like 10 C's.
I love clam chowder.
Chowder.
I love me some chowder, especially the thick chowder. If it's not thick, it's not chowder.
Right, exactly.
Enter promotional code there.
There's no room for runny chowder in this household.
No, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So we went from PAX Unplugged vibe to chowder, and we're going to circle back.
Yes.
Because we're in Philadelphia.
Yes.
City of brotherly love. Cheesesteaks. So there's the food tie-in. There's how we're getting back to this.
Yeah.
What have you seen that's been good? Like, have you been excited to see any games here? Have you been kind of amped up about certain releases, maybe coming from Essen? Like, what have you kind of seen?
I am taking this PAX, because I was at PAX last year, overbooked myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just not doing that this year. We had a meeting yesterday with Rock Manor Games, and they had some really cool things. I'm excited to see some of that. But going to a couple of game conventions already, I've been asked this question. I'm like, you know what? I'm just here for the people.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around, maybe demo some stuff. My wife is with me, Kate's with me, this con. And she is super excited to be demoing games. She's off to our right with a hot dog.
Ooh.
That looks really good, actually.
It does.
So I just get to eat a hot dog while we do this.
Yeah, why not?
But that is...
Stranger things have happened.
It's being with the people. We went to Reading Terminal Market on Thursday. Was that yesterday?
That was 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Reading Terminal Market for the first time was good. I think I prefer the market in Columbus, Ohio.
North Market.
Mm-hmm. That market, I liked it better there. Just the vibe was better. And here we are. We went out last night to a whiskey bar, and I felt way too old. I have a stamp on my hand. I haven't had a stamp in my hand in about 15
I didn't even notice.
years.
Yeah. Go you.
I am going wild.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going wild. We stayed up till 10 o'clock,
You weren't in bed by like 9:27.
10 p.m. Hard cut off all the time. No, it was like 2 a.m. We rolled in.
Yeah, we know. We know. Like, nobody here is in bed at, 10 o'clock.
That's when the con actually starts.
Yes.
It's 9 p.m. Yeah.
Yes. Getting back to that, though, like, I think the same. Like, I overbooked myself at Origins, at Gen Con, and I limited myself to, like, 3 meetings a day max.
Yeah.
And really, you can have discussions with publishers outside of the convention, right? You can have those meetings and you can pick up stuff here, and it's convenient. But the people that you can hang out with here that are all together in one place, you don't get that anywhere else.
Yeah. Unless you go to Salem, Massachusetts.
Unless you go to Salem, Massachusetts, and somebody's on their honeymoon. He blamed you, by the way, Kate. So just saying.
Yeah. I said, Arwen's going to be in Salem. Can we move our honeymoon? And you told me no.
Yeah, that happened.
That's how that works.
She just corroborated the story. That is my out. Yes.
But Jesus. So it's been an interesting convention so far. I've done the same. Like I've done. I think I've spent more time outside of the convention, just hanging out and meeting up with people. Yeah. We had a cheese party yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Where we just went over to Reading Terminal and bought a bunch of cheese. Hung out with the Tabletop Express guys.
Nice.
We are actually staying in the same hotel, so it's been fun hanging out with them. And then Nathan Thornton, showed up to hang out and drink coffee and, just chill discussion, like, about games, but also life in general. And that's awesome. What I really like. Yeah, you can't get that anywhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We haven't even done the whole right side of the convention hall. I think we stopped at Pikachu.
Yeah, we
And we haven't been on this side. No, maybe
Go
the Everdell
you.
tree. Past that, this is no man's land for me.
That's
I don't know
amazing.
what's over there.
Okay. Are you going to find out?
Eventually.
Okay.
Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next year.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
If not, I'll catch it in some videos.
Yeah. There's some interesting stuff over there. I will say that. Like a lot of the smaller vendors are towards the back, and then definitely over that way. Some cool stuff
Cool.
over there. I actually did like a speed run of all the halls and just kind of went over there last thing, and it was cool. It's a cool smaller convention.
Yeah.
That I really like for just hanging out and chill and not be overloaded.
Yeah, exactly.
So we did a thing.
We did.
We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, we have.
And you asked me what my favorite game of all time was, and I told you that it was like picking a favorite child.
We all have that one child we like more than the other.
Yeah. And that's why I found out. Like there's some children in my collection that are definitely better than others. So you challenged me to make a top 10 list, and I said, I'll do it if you do it. And then you said, when are we recording this? I'm like, you want to do it at PAX? Sure,
Yes.
let's do this.
Yes.
So that's why we're here.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to do this. I'm excited to hear what your top games are, because I think there might be some overlap. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe
Like-
one.
Like I
Just
know,
like that list we're on.
Yeah, I know one for sure. I think I know two.
Okay.
I don't know about the rest.
Okay. I may have a hot take in there as well, but
Okay.
we will get to that when we
Okay.
get to it.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll start. I can start us off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to go from 10?
Yeah, I'm gonna just
start
no
at 1.
suspense. Start at 1. My favorite game is bam. This was a hard challenge. I had to dig deep in the sense of, okay, what games do I just want to play at any given moment, right? Mm-hmm. And I really want to give a quick shout out as an honorable mention to Bandito, because that game is always with me and I play it constantly, but it did not make this list. And maybe it should be. It's like one adjacent. My 10 game is going to be Villainous, Disney Villainous, from Ravensburger, designed by Prospero Hall.
Because Prospero Hall does not list their designers.
Yes, because Prospero Hall does not list their designers. But I say Disney Villainous. It came out in 2018, and I just know that because I just looked that up. It has a weight of X now. I say Disney Villainous. I love Disney. Love the Disney IP. I mean, I have Disney tattoos, and we go to Disney World a lot. Like, Disney is in my blood. Actually, I don't have them on today, but I do have these obnoxious Disney Crocs. Christmas Crocs. I had them on yesterday.
Ooh.
Love them. Ooh. And they're fleece lined. Oh, so good.
Get to stay nice and toasty.
Yes, all day. Kate fought off 2 little kids in Magic Kingdom. Like, those are for my husband.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Let those go.
They can be relentless.
But it comes in at number 10 because it really brought me into what I'm doing now. If it wasn't for Disney Villainous, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Mm-hmm. In 2020, which, that thing happened. I don't remember what that was, but it did. That thing happened.
Yeah, the thing.
I was on some Disney Vacation Club forums on Facebook, and I believe I had posted about it, or someone had posted about it, and they had so many questions like, how do you play this? We have a copy. And I said, hey, if I live stream this, I don't think I actually use the word live stream, but if I go on Facebook Live and play it, would you watch? And so a lot of people actually said yes to that. And that is still my go-to. If someone doesn't know how to play Villainous, I just send them the link that I have from that Facebook Live. And Kate and I, we do it. We did it well. I thought we did it well. And it's one of those games that they keep coming out with expansions because the Disney pool is pretty endless. And I just love it. I love being the villain. I want to make sure that Scar kills Mufasa or Jafar becomes Sultan, or it's a cool take on it.
The way that things should have been,
Exactly.
not the way that they turned out.
Yeah. No one likes this happily ever after nonsense.
No, absolutely not. That should not even be a phrase. So that was your number 10.
That's my number 10.
So the way that I approached it was very much similar. Like, what would I want to play if I were stranded on an island? Again, with people. That's the activity that we were going to do.
Or this just becomes a solo list, right?
Yeah,
Top 10
exactly.
solo games.
Yeah, top 10 solo games to play on an island when you're stranded and stuck and looking for food, because I'm sure that playing solo games is going to be your top priority. But if I was stranded on like an island with unlimited food and, you know, all of my basic needs were taken care of, and then I had people, that's...
So like
there's
a sandals
lot that's
resort.
there. Yes. Are you truly stranded?
Yes.
I guess not. If I were vacationing at Sandals with an appropriate group of people, this would be my top 10 list. But my number 10 is Russian Railroads. It is a game that I love good engine building. And this legitimately feels like building an engine where you start the first few rounds and you're scoring like 1 or 2 points. And by the end of it, it's like, how am I going to, you know, go? Because I'm seeing like 400, 500, 600. You get there because you're building up this engine, you're building up your point scoring, and then you just go and like, in the last round, you're scoring like 75, 100, 150 points.
Oh, wow.
It's wild. Like, I really love it. There's Ultimate Railroads now, which I haven't checked out. I haven't checked out any of the expansions, but it is legitimately one of my favorite games. I love to play it. I'll play it anytime. It's Russian Railroads.
I'm going to look for that in the PAX library because that sounds really good. We love just point salad games. Are so fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Cool. I haven't played it, so thank you for that insight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And is it my turn? You're
You're
looking at me. What's your number 9?
It is your
Stop
turn.
taking so much time. My number 9, and this is the hot take one that I wanted to make. Not my. It's just a hot take. I think it was a little controversial for a little bit there. Maybe still is. But it's 5 Tribes, the Djinns of Nakala, Days of Wonder, and Bruno. Bruno Cathala. Yeah. I'm like, Nakala and Cathala, there's no way that actually rhymes. But it does. And I thought I made a mistake. But Bruno Cathala, there's just something about that game. It's one of those games that was introduced to me earlier on because it's been out for years now. But I love the Mancala-based system, and it's just so random. And at the end of a work day, it's easy to put on the table and like, hey, let's just mindlessly, and you can just mindlessly accrue points. And that's one of those games I don't care if I win or lose because I just enjoy that experience of the bidding and the little puzzle of, do I want to do the blue? Do I want to do the red, white, whatever? And the genies that give you different powers. I never go into genies. I don't go that route in that game. But that is my number 9.
I like that as a number 9. Like, I don't think that that's a hot take at all.
Okay.
Like, honestly, so I played that at Dragon Con for the first time because you recommended it. I said, I've got to get this. So I picked it up at Flea Market, I think it was this year. And I took it to Dragon Con and I played it. And it's a really, really solid game. Like you said, that Mancala mechanism, the flow of the game.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, don't get into the genies too much. Pick up a couple that are going to help you with your strategy. But other than that, like, just focus on the main board.
The other thing with it is just the sheer amount of actions you can do at the beginning. And not all the games that I've played where you have as many things as you can possibly do, and the game just gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter as it progresses.
Yeah. It's a very, very well designed game.
Yeah.
I would consider it definitely a classic.
Yeah.
So, no, good pick. My number 9 is one that I believe is still sitting on top of the BGG charts, and that is Gloomhaven. I have had so much time playing this game, it has been, I think we spent 2.5 years before we finally got through the main campaign, and that was like almost weekly playing it.
Wow. That's a lot of content.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of content. I really love the top and bottom card matching, really that strategy, upgrading your characters permanently even after they go and retire. You can bring them back out and have all these upgraded cards that you can then just start off with and play. The story behind it was kind of decent. Like, you know, we had a good time with it. It wasn't as deep as I'd like. I'm looking for that in Frosthaven. If I actually do pull that out and play it, I may just sell it at this point, because who has time?
This is true.
Who has time and who has the dedicated people at this point? But it hit for me. I love dungeon crawlers, and the time that I spent with my friends, I think, was the most important thing with that game. Just having that reoccurring, I'm doing this every single Wednesday.
That's dedication.
Yeah. And I look back at that as a really special time. So that was my number 9, Gloomhaven.
We got Gloomhaven in, and we sold that so fast. Like, it is a game for a lot of people. That game is not for me.
Yeah.
But that being said, there aren't a lot of those type of games, the dungeon crawlery ones, that we own. And if we own it, we honestly we get into the FOMO thing, and then we can talk about that at a completely different time frame.
Oh yeah.
But we get into the FOMO thing, and then we buy it, and they're just like, why do we do this?
Yeah.
Why did we buy this game? We need to sell it or whatever. But we had a big insert for it, and we sold it to our local game store pretty quickly. The app was great. I did like the app. I will say that at some point today, I believe they're going to be coming out with a Gloomhaven RPG.
I did read about that.
Yes. I'm sure a lot of people will be excited about that. And I played another game recently. Actually, Addicts Games did a fan-made expansion. But they're doing another system that's like Gloomhaven-esque. And now everything's like, Gloomhaven's a staple, and I like that. They're doing another game called Rove that is Gloomhaven-esque. But back to those cards that you were talking about, their card system, you have your set of cards, but they flip.
Ooh.
Yeah, they flip back and forth, so they get more powerful when you use the power. They go back to being nerfed. It's a really cool system. But I'm happy that's at your number 9.
Yeah.
For sure.
Rove is also on the other side of the hall, by the way, so go check that out.
My number, was that 9? 8.
8.
And this was tough. I feel like this should be higher, but I really like all these other ones. Is Anachrony by Mind Clash Games. David Terzi is.
I knew that was going to be on there.
Ooh, maybe did America just score a goal?
I thought he was just cheering for your Anachrony.
Anachrony! That makes sense. I love Anachrony. I love big games, and that, my gosh, that game is a monster. And of course, like any Mind Clash game, there's a lot of icons. But once you get to know the icons, you still need to get to know the icons.
You're constantly learning all the time.
I still have the rulebook next to me. And what is this again? Oh, I played this game 100 times. Still have no idea. Set that one. Cool. But Anachrony, it's such a heavy worker placement type of game, and you have to have your workers that can only go in certain action slots into exosuits to go out into the wasteland, if you will. And then you have action spots in your own area on top of on top of so many other things. But by the time that game ends, your mind just melts. It fries. And I guess that's another one where it gets tighter as the game progresses because there's a timeline aspect to it. The timeline aspect of that game is also a fun factor because you can go back in time with your exosuits for bonuses for the current round. And you have to go back in time to pay those to pay it back effectively. You borrowed from the past to help you in the future, and you have to go back in time to repay your debts, if you will, or not. Or if you don't do that, you're going to get some serious negative victory points. But that's just my number 8, and I love it. The box art, I love the artwork. It's not for everyone. The artwork isn't for everyone. But if you love heavier games, highly recommend.
Yeah, it's one that I've been meaning to check out, and I know that we've been talking about playing it for years.
Yeah.
Well, a year at this point, probably. Just because you speak so highly of it, and I love a good brain burner experience, and that seems like it fits the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like just something that they seem to do really well with, like Septima, and that's like a lighter game for them. They really are producing some really cool content. And
even Astra.
Yeah.
The and write. I'm not sure exactly what the before is on that, but it is a writing game. That's 2 point something, and it makes you think at a lighter value of a lighter game. It was an interesting game. But I'm also a Minecraft fanboy, and I don't say anything bad about Minecraft.
Yeah. I immediately went on and pre-ordered Septima. I'm like,
nice.
The theme is really good, and I know that I'm gonna like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get to it eventually.
Yes.
Like there's been that verge where I've almost ordered the Essential Edition. I'm like, I'm gonna play with Roberto first and just make sure. So my number 8 is a game from Thunderworks. It is a roll and write, or verb and write as we call it, kind of a flip and write as opposed to a roll and write, and that's Cartographers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is one that consistently gets to the table. I love the different maps. Just the gameplay is pretty easy to teach newcomers, and it supports a wide variety of people. You can sit at the table with a bunch of different people and hang out, and everybody gets a sheet, and you just do your own thing. Especially with the colored pencils, you have this nice, very pleasing map at the end. I love the bonuses scoring depending on when you're playing those different cards. It's a really, really cool game. And it's got a lot of longevity for me, and it's still coming to the table all the time.
Excellent.
So that's my number 8.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. We played that. We were at Board and Brew on Thursday, and that came out because it plays infinite players. And we had a good time. We had a great time with it. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was there for the experience and being around the people and playing it. But solid choice. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. My number, what are we on, 7?
Yes.
My number 7 is a newer game because I just love, he's probably one of my favorite designers. He's one of my favorite designers. It's a game by Vladimir Sushi, published by Rio Grande Games. It's Praga Caput Regni.
Mm-hmm.
That rulebook is really cool. So when you go to the back of the rulebook, you learn about the wall that was made with egg shells or egg yolk or with cement, like eggs and cement or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't learn too much, but there's a lot of cool history in the back of the rulebook. But there's just something about Vladimir Sushi games that tickle my brain in the best way. It's a point salad game. You can do one action and you get 75 points. But the game is broken down into like 3 or 4 different areas. You have the wall, you have your little town, you have your own section that has its own separate actions area. But what makes that game pop for me is an action wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Where
absolutely
you take your action, you choose one of the 2 sides, you do the action, you rotate the wheel, which also tells you the amount of rounds that you have, and then you place it at a higher spot, so it's going to cost you a little bit more the next if you want to take that. So you grab it, you get a little bonus, and I like that too. Most of his games have little bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep playing until someone wins. But my gosh, again, it's so satisfying playing one move, which triggers this, which triggers that, which upgrades this, which moves that, and it really does it for me. I think that's I might say that's probably in Kate's top 5. She loves that game.
It's a fantastic game. Also, you mentioned the rule book. And if you don't read through that rule book, everybody's like, why are there eggs in this game? It's like, because it's historical context.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, I wish more rule books would have that. Yeah.
Read the history behind this. Yeah. I love a good combo game. I think that's a great example. His games are like up there for me.
Yeah.
Pulsar is another one that is a fantastic, completely underrated game.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
I saw it in the CGE area. It's down there.
Yeah, go pick it up. It's like highly underrated for me.
Okay.
Awesome. Good pick.
Thank
Love
you.
it. My number 7 is from Chip Theory Games.
Yes.
And it is Too Many Bones. I had a hard time rating Too Many Bones above Gloomhaven because of the amount of experience I had with Gloomhaven until I really thought about it, and I thought about just how well it distills the combat aspect into, these skirmishes, that you have these different setups and these different puzzles that you're trying to figure out, based on what choices you make to begin with. The different cards that you get, basically you have an option A, option B, and that's how you set up the board. A little risk reward before you head into a combat, and then you set it up. And it is such a amazing game that I just want to play over and over and over and over again. It plays extremely well solo. It plays extremely well with a group of people. A little bit of a teach on it.
Yes.
It is harder to get newer players into it,
yes.
But once they do, it's super streamlined and super straightforward. And I think a lot of people have gravitated more towards the combat there because you're not dealing with all these different lines of sight rules and everything else. It's just distilled right there.
Yes.
And that's what I love about it.
I did not have... That's not on my list. And...
That's wild.
It is wild. When you said Too Many Bones, I'm like, oh my gosh, that didn't even come to mind.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love that game, and I'll play that game, honestly, any chance I get. We had some family over Thanksgiving, and Kate was like, let's play Too Many Bones with them. Now, they are baseline, their intro. I was like, no, we're going to spend 17 hours learning the game, which is, we didn't have enough time for it.
Yeah.
Because you need to set some time aside to play that game. But we'll play with them at some point. The components are fantastic.
Waterproof. You can play in the bathtub.
You can play in the bathtub. Bring it to the ocean.
Yeah.
Everything's nice and hefty.
Just jacuzzi. Beautiful.
Someone needs to make a tray to play games in a jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Just specifically for Too Many Bones.
I'm saying Chip Theory should already be on that. I'm surprised that they haven't put that out already.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Solid choice.
Thank you.
Solid choice. I absolutely agree with that. My 6 is Dice Throne. And
I could see that.
I had a hard time rating that higher. So we'll get into the other games soon enough. But Dice Throne for Roxley Games, Manny Tremblay, and Nate Chatelier. I believe that's how you say his last name. Mm-hmm. There's something about dice manipulation and the whole Yahtzee rules combat system. It's a blast. And it's also a game which we actually did a learn and play yesterday. All you need is one round, and then it just immediately clicks. Yeah. Like you're going to go bam, 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 and it's back and forth until someone loses. And the games are so tight. It's so well balanced, I've come to find. I know they've worked on some balancing issues with Season 1 and Season 2 just came out with a balance, with new leaflets for balance. But other than those, it's so exceptionally balanced, and it's so crazy to give 14 damage in one round, the next player deals 7, and then by the end of the game, you still have a win and loss by like 5 health. Yeah.
It always comes down to the wire.
Oh, for sure. And
I think the beauty of the teach on that is the fact that so many people are very familiar with Yahtzee.
Yes.
So you can just put it in terms of that. And you can say, okay, this is Yahtzee, but you're looking to match everything that's out on your player board. And that's how you deal damage.
Yeah.
And I think from that perspective, it's very brilliant. I got in on the first Kickstarter on that, like before they did the remastered and everything.
Oh, nice.
And I just sold that off, got the remastered stuff. I absolutely love that. I have everything but Marvel.
Marvel's good. Marvel's
So,
really
like,
good.
Santa vs. Krampus, which was like originally a fan expansion, they just picked up and just said, you know what, we're going to print this. So, yeah, very, very good choice. And then Adventures as well to turn it into a cooperative experience.
Yes, yes. That's what it's a dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
We have it. We played it once. But I want to keep the completionist mentality over Dice Throne, so I need to have everything.
Exactly. No, I agree.
We did. We upgraded the tokens. They're like this nice plastic versus the cardboard.
The BGG.
No,
ones
they're
are-
from I think Idiot Games or Bidiot Games.
Okay.
I believe that's what they are.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Very cool. Very good choice. My number 6 is a game that I played this year for the first time. I was very excited to play it. I never thought that it'd get to the table. I used to own 3 editions of it, first, third, and fourth. I now am trying to sell off my third. I own fourth. I did get rid of my first, and that's Twilight Imperium.
Ooh.
It is the quintessential space opera, and I didn't think that I was going to like it as much as I did. I really, really love the fact that battling is very much secondary in that game. You're trying to negotiate, you're trying to say, hey, I just need to get in here for like a turn, and then I'm just going to back out. Like, we're going to be cool. And then sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. I'm just saying, sometimes you just need to stay in there. You miscalculated. I just need to stay in there for another round. And then after that,
This is
another
where we
round.
pause and go play it and come back and finish up this recording.
Exactly.
8 hours later.
8 hours later. It is very much an experience.
Yes.
It is very much a scheduled game that you are going to do once or twice per year. I don't think everybody needs to own it, but one person in the game group can own it,
Yeah.
and then everybody can come over and play that game. It's a brilliant game. I love the asymmetric factions, how they all interact with each other. It's a wildly different game every single time based on who's in there, who's in that mix. It's a beautifully, beautifully designed game, and I can see why it's so high for so many people.
Yeah. We do. That's one that's on our shelf. And you're right. It takes a long time. We haven't played it yet. So we need a weekend. We need to sit down everyone on a Saturday to learn it, and then Sunday to play it.
Yeah.
Because none of us know how to even begin getting into Twilight Imperium. But I have played Twilight Inscription,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
that was fun.
I heard
that
it
was
was
good
really,
time.
really good.
Yeah. Solid choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe we'll play Anachrony and then we'll play Twilight Imperium.
I like that
Maybe
idea.
simultaneously.
I'll vacation to Boston for a week, and then maybe we'll get through everything.
I like that a lot. Rounding
Cinco.
down to number 5. I did say that Vladimir Sushi is one of my favorite designers, and I absolutely enjoy. I haven't played anything before Pulsar, but Pulsar, Underwater Cities, which is my number 5, and Praga, and then Woodcraft, because we played Woodcraft as well.
I'm jealous.
I feel like you see him age really well and experience with his designs, because Pulsar is a great game, but it's also a lot simpler than anything past Pulsar.
Yes.
But Underwater Cities is my number 5. Again, the action selection that he has, you play a card to an area. If it matches, you get bonus. This is one of these games that I always have a hard time explaining it. But just trust me, it is a really good number 5 spot. Have you played Underwater Cities yet?
I haven't. It's been one that's been on my list, and it's been in my cart a couple of times, and I just haven't been able to pick it up.
Yeah.
I did look at the flea market this year for it, and nobody was selling it, which is kind
That's
of
a good thing.
It's a good sign.
Right. You have on your player board, you're building an underwater city, hence the name. So the game comes with these really cool plastic domes, and you have 4 different eras. So the deck actually upgrades your card actions that you're able to do. And as you're playing the game, you're accruing your resources to play different buildings, if you will. So there's science buildings. There are the green tokens, which are that's food. Guys, you got to feed the cities. And you have to get things to do things, and at the end, it's satisfying.
In the game,
and someone wins. But it's another one of those. If you get one action, it can trigger into 30 points.
I love that
easily. Yeah. But your playboard is really cool because you do have to connect your cities, and you expand your domes and all these, your cities on your player board to have this really cool and unique looking underwater city. I sound so dumb. I've been saying the words underwater cities for several minutes now, but underwater cities do it. If you can make out that mess of my explanation, just trust me. Do it. Yeah.
I will definitely do that.
Roberto's number 5 was Underwater Cities. Hard stop. Next one.
My number 5 is a game that has one of the worst covers of all time. It's very bland. It looks like horrendous. And that's Concordia.
I was gonna say Concordia.
The old Rio Grande classic. It's just terrible cover. But beautiful gameplay in the fact that you have this hand of action cards. They're really simple to explain. You go in, you play one of them, you take the action, next player's turn. And the beauty of it is you have one card that's always in your hand that you play to recollect all of them. And depending on how many you get through in your discard, you actually get a bonus when you recollect. So you can try to optimize your actions the best possible to go in and get the most bonus coins after that before you get all the cards back and try to do the same thing again. It is a fantastic design. It is one that holds a lot of personal sentiment to me, because I got to play it with my best friend before he passed. And, it was a really, I'm glad that I got to share that with him. Fantastic design, older design, but still really, really much worth your time. That's my number 5, Concordia.
That was way better than saying Underwater Cities 17 times in a row. I love that as a number 5. Kate and I played that at 2 players. I haven't played it more than 2. And we did entirely different things, and the scoring was pretty close. And I like that. It's just well balanced when you can do several different things. And, have be 2 or 3 points off. But we haven't played Salsa, and after that 2-player experience, we haven't played it since. Because I didn't like it at 2, but I do need to play it at a higher player count. Yeah. My number 4, Scythe, Stonemaier Games.
Classic.
Jamie Stegmaier. Do I? That one has a lot of history with us. When we first bought that game, we actually bought the legendary box first. We didn't have the game, but Kate was like, you know what, we're going to buy this, so we're going to buy the box. It was discounted at a Black Friday sale. It was 50% off. Hashtag worth it. Yeah, you have to buy the box.
You have to.
But it is our most upgraded game. It's probably the most money we've ever spent over time. Like, all of our mechs are metal. We have the resources, the metal coins, the promo coins, all that stuff. It's kind of crazy. But it's a kind of a dudes on a map, but not really. And what I like about Scythe is there's so many options to trigger the end game. Like, you don't have to be aggressive if you don't want to be. You can stay in your little peninsula. I mean, you're probably not going to win that way.
Yeah.
But you can stay in your little area and put out your buildings and build a tunnel to get places and whatnot. But it's a game that has a lot of deep strategy. I know a lot of people have quote unquote broken the game to get its most effective play,
like optimized or
yeah,
whatever.
just optimize everything.
Yeah.
But another one of my favorite things with Scythe is the asymmetric factions. Asymmetry, area control is top tier for me. That's S Club. S Club 7.
S tier.
S tier. Thank you.
S tier.
I was S Club 7.
We need to make that. That sounds
Can
cool.
we just start an S Club?
That's all the cool kids are in S Club 7.
Oh my gosh. This game is S Club.
That's going on Twitter later.
Scythe was originally supposed to be a card game.
Scythe was supposed to be a card
really?
game. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That would have played dramatically different.
Yeah, it would have.
That's so cool. I never knew that. I also love, and that kind of ties in with Twilight Imperium in the fact that it's very standoffish. It's very Cold War. Like, you're building your armies, but you don't want to go in and attack, or else that's just going to lead to a chain reaction of everybody just annihilating each other. You get like one or two of those big combats a game, and then that's pretty much it, which I really like.
Yeah.
Because I'm very much a stay in your own lane kind of person.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's how I do.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I very much, in my gaming group, I'm the guy to stir the pot in games. I'm going to attack you. I'm going to do as much as I can to do the take that part of any game.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah. Different strokes.
Yeah.
My number 4 is North Star Production. It is one that I absolutely love. I own all the expansions. I've upgraded the bits. And I will play at any given opportunity. Pressure Luck is a big seller for me. And Quacks of Quedlinburg combines Pressure Luck with bag building.
Yeah.
Which is not going to be the last time that you hear a bag builder on my list. It is just such a fun game where you're building up your potion, trying not to get it to explode, going and upgrading your bag, and then, just trying to get the most points possible. I absolutely love it. We can teach it very easily. People just kind of get it. And it's always that very tense moment that you want in a Pressure Luck game of, I really need to do one more, but I know that it's going to go horribly wrong for me. And even if it does, I still have a great time with it. My number 4, Quacks Club.
That's excellent. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. This is now our gateway for when people come over there that don't play games. Let's play Quacks. Let's bust out Quacks.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, everyone loves board games. Wonderland's War. And I hope you do a top 10 bag building episode, because that would be awesome.
That might be next.
That'd be great.
Wonderland's War is definitely up there.
That is it's such a good game.
It is.
But I agree wholeheartedly. What are we on? 3? Oh my gosh. 3 Sisters by 25th Century Games.
Ooh.
That came out earlier this year. Matt Riddle and Ben Pinchback. That's another combo game. I think there's a theme here. Being able to just get as many points as possible, knowing how to optimize your roll and write. But 3 Sisters is a roll and write based off of corn, beans, and pumpkins. So you have your garden, and you have a little farming area to work with your garden, but you roll some dice. You pick a die. You can either plant or water in a zone. There are 6 zones of the garden, and you continue playing within, I think it's 8 rounds. But as you play the game, there are different things that trigger, like there's a rain, so everything in the garden grows by 1. The farm actions, when you go to that area, the barn actions, I should say, once you fill up that whole bubble, it helps you. So you're trying again to optimize how to play it. And soon or later, you end up with 17 extra actions, and at the end of the game, you can just do them all, and you end the game with 100-something points. It's great.
Just do all the things.
Just do all the things. Have you played that?
I have. It is in my collection. It is an excellent game. Another read the rule book.
Yeah.
Because it's a fascinating story. And I do love how they just incorporated that thematically into the game. Where you're building up those three sisters. And I never knew about it. And I just found it incredibly fascinating. Again, going into like the different themes and one of the reasons that I got into the hobby, because you got to see these dramatically different games than what you would normally get in a video game. I think that it's a fantastic game, but I have to ask, have you played Fleet the Dice game?
I haven't. That's on my list. List. Because that's before Three Sisters, or was that the next one?
I believe it was before that.
Yeah.
And it's a very good game, and I kind of waffle back and forth about which one I like better.
Okay. That's not the first time we've heard that.
Honestly, there's parts of it that I wish I could take parts of Three Sisters, put it in Fleet the Dice game, and vice versa, and I think you'd have like a perfect game. Like, that would be super, super high on my list. Okay. But I'm excited to hear that on the top of your list. It's a very solid
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I also play it with my clients, and it's easy to teach. Can be played in half hour, 40 minutes. It works really well. Yeah.
Ye old Verban rights. We love them. My number 3 is a bit of a hot take. It's one that a lot of people don't expect. It is by CGE. It is one that is definitely fitting into more of that brain burner category. I picked it up at DragonCon in 2016 used, and the person that sold it to me basically said, you know what, I love this game, but I never play it, and I always feel like I need to go to bed after I play this because I'm done for the rest of the day. And that number 3 is Alchemist.
Oh, that's so good. Why is that a hot take? That's a great take.
Because nobody knows about the greatness of it that hasn't played it. And people are like, it just looks like a boring logic puzzle. It is like such a cool game.
It's solid.
Yeah,
solid.
The mechanics are amazing. The app integration, especially for when it was produced in 2014, was ridiculously good. It's incredibly straightforward. It works extremely well. It's very stable to this day. It is an amazing game, and I wish more people knew about it. I wish more people, kind of appreciated it. It is just an amazing experience. And I actually bonded with Ray from CGE about that because it's like definitely up there for her too. And
awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Fantastic game.
I think our first time playing Alchemist, we went to a board game cafe, and he's like, "Oh, what do you want to play?" It's like, "Do you have Alchemist?" He's like, "Alchemist." It's like, that is not a game people come in here to play.
Yeah.
Like, no, we are coming in here. We're gonna learn Alchemist, and we spent a good amount of time learning how to play that game.
we know how long this is gonna take, right?
We did not know the rules. And I feel like I still don't know the rules, but I'll be happy to play Alchemist anytime.
Need to add that to the list?
Yeah. My number 2 is a lot of number 2s, because my number 2 is any exit game by Thames and Cosmos. Any of them. I believe there's 35 out. We haven't done the advent calendars. And we've done, I want to say 33 or so of them. I have all the wheels. We keep the wheels, but that's it's a great experience for Kate and I. It's a date night thing for us. It gets us together for 2 to 3 hours. We gotta go straight analog, and it's a great time figuring out these puzzles. And some of them, once you see the answer, you're like, why didn't I think of that? Like, I can't be this dumb right now. What I have to do is fold the box. Right? Yeah. And those aren't spoilers. This is just, so maybe it's in one of the games.
All you need to do is eat the Declaration of Independence, and you can figure this out.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Again, like fold the box.
Fold the box.
Cool.
Just
Cool.
fold the box.
It's something you see. Where did you see it before? And it's just right in front of you, and you're looking everywhere. You have no idea where is it, but they're all great. Unfortunately, but the only downside is they're one and dones. Mm-hmm. You cut into them, you write into them, so they are kind of wasteful. But you do get a solid experience out of any of them. About any of them. Oh yeah, and there's an app too with a timer, and it tells you how bad you do.
Yeah. It's like, wow, you suck at this. That's what it always tells me anyways. -5 stars. Yeah, I really love those games. And in comparison, you look at a date night that you might have by going out to the movies and that, or you look at an exit game, and it's like such a great value.
Yes.
For the same amount of time. And you get to use your brain and interact with it and, really think outside of the box or sometimes with the box. Yeah, I love those games too. And that's a good pick. Good pick.
That was a good box pun.
Thank you. Thank you. I was hoping that you'd
That was a knee slapper.
Yes.
Cool.
My number 2 is one that was from Tasty Minstrel Games before they went out of business. I do believe that somebody has picked it up. It might have been Capstone, but I'm not positive. It is my other bag builder that's on this list, and it is Orleans.
Oh, I haven't played that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
I've heard good things. I think we just sold it.
I own all the expansions. I've upgraded all the bits. It is such an amazing game. I will say the one thing that does get a little bit samey about it is the tiles. You do kind of fix that with the expansion, but it is a game that I will play at any time with any person. I absolutely love it. Orleans, my number 2.
I didn't even know that was a bag builder.
Yeah.
Looking at that box, nothing about that box is bag builder.
It's a trash box. I'm sorry.
It's
up there with Concordia.
Okay. Cool. We got that on sale when right as Capstone was doing the acquisition. Mm-hmm. And we ended up getting all the content for it. It was super cheap. And again, I looked at the box. I'm like, no, I don't know if I want to play this.
Yeah.
I didn't read the rules or see any other content on it. But had I known it was a bag builder, I probably would have made it a priority. But fortunately, we sold it to one of our friends, and we could just go to their house and
exactly.
Play it.
They own it. Definitely do that.
Will do. My number 1.
It's down to it.
My number 1. Drum roll.
Insert drum roll here.
This one was the first thing that came to mind. Look, it's my number 1. It's this. It's a game by Peterson Games, and I just found out yesterday that he went to Fantasy Flight Games to pitch this to them. They didn't take it. And then it became this huge cult hit after he decided to kickstart it. And that's Cthulhu Wars. Cthulhu Wars is one of those games you get 8 people together. And I don't like playing it. I just need the full player count. You need the full experience. It's a dudes on a map, asymmetrical player powers, and every faction is wildly different than the next. Yeah, you have Big Bad Cthulhu, and Cthulhu tends to win 9 times out of 10. He's got a really cool thing where if you kill Cthulhu, that's why we never try to kill Cthulhu, but if you kill Cthulhu, he comes back at a lesser cost. So we try never to kill Cthulhu. But that game is such a fun little war game, and the miniatures are these giant honking pieces of plastic, and they're Crayola colored as well. You get these vibrant yellows, blues, reds, oranges, purples, and when it's all on the table, it looks like a crayon factory. Do you say crayon or crayon?
Crayon.
I say
crayon. Is there a secret third way?
Crayon.
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 Crayon?
Crayon, yeah. The color of crayons.
Crayons? Crayon.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's up for discussion after this.
Apparently, yeah. This was not a debate that I was expecting to get in when I woke up this morning.
A bonus episode.
Yes. Let's discuss the different phonetic pronunciations of crayon.
So they are crayon colors.
Okay. It sounds so wrong to me, but okay, whatever, Roberto. That's fine. You do you.
Oh, I'm gonna keep doing me. It's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the thing.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say Underwater City 17 times. But Cthulhu Wars, every experience that I have is wildly different from the next, where there are factions that are passive, there are some that are aggressive, and some that just don't care. They just exist. They all have different win conditions. Actually, I lied. There's one win condition, but to access the win condition, you have to put these spell books on your player board. Once you have 6 and get 30 points, you win the game. That being said, back to the asymmetry of it all, everything's just so different. They're drastically different from each other. I have my favorite faction. I think everyone has their favorite factions, but that's the game that I love to just be a bully in. Especially if I have a bully faction. I'm like, no, we're going to battle.
We're going to fight.
And then you accrue all the power, figure out how much power you have, and you end up rolling 20 plus dice at once, which also feels so satisfying. You're like, chugga, chugga, chugga. Yes, yes.
For those who aren't here, Jamie showed up and said the KFC family bucket size of dice.
I'm gonna actually get a KFC bucket and use it next time I play Cthulhu Wars. That's awesome. Yeah. That's my number one.
I like that. So I haven't played that one. I will admit.
It's hard to find. I thought it would be
it.
here. I haven't seen it. Yeah, the PAX library doesn't have it.
Yeah, like you said, it's one that I've heard about. I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot of very good things about it. I just have not had an opportunity to sit down with it. So now I'm going to check it out because I know, like, with your 5 Tribes recommendation, that was solid. So now we've got that trust built up.
Yes. You got the seal of approval.
The Roberto Lopez seal of approval. So speaking of chucking a lot of dice, my number one is a AEG production. It was one that I was kind of like not sure about at first. I was a Machikoro fan. I sold off Machikoro in favor of this game because I don't need that anymore. And that is Space Base.
Space Base! Space Base!
It is such a great game.
Yes!
I haven't played the second expansion yet, but with the first expansion, I love this game. I have played so many rounds of it. I think I'm up to 40 at this point. I just checked, my BGG count, and with it being on BGA, like I'm playing 2 games at the same time. I'm in love with that game, and the expansion just adds these discs that you can go and spend your money on, or you can basically roll, to get these discs, and then spend those to get these dice that you're rolling like every single turn, on or off, depending on the player count. And it is just such a fantastic engine building game, race game. And ain't nobody got time for Machikoro after you played Space Base, because it blows it out of the water. I still do own Valeria Card Kingdoms, though. It hits a little bit differently for me, though. And I cannot say enough good about this. If you haven't played Space Base, get on Board Game Arena right now and play it. It is a fantastic, fantastic game. And that's my number one.
Yes. That's the reaction. Yes.
Everybody plays every turn.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
you're not sitting and waiting. You have to pay attention to what everybody's doing so you can get good stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly. Kate mentioned the fact that you're playing on every single turn.
Yeah.
You're going in and seeing what they roll so that you can match that to what you've got, and you're getting more and more stuff. It's just amazing.
It's
such a visceral experience.
One of my buddies, Nelson, he classifies games as heads up or heads down. And Space Base is one of the best heads up games.
Absolutely.
Out there, for sure.
Absolutely.
And we get obnoxious. I'm just like, Space Base!
You can't.
And that's how we play. We have to say Space Base in the most ridiculous voice every time you roll the dice.
It's a rule. It's in the rule book. It's definitely in there. Again, read the rule book.
Read the rule book. That is such a great number one. Great number one.
The saga expansions that they have,
the first one I've played. The second one I haven't gotten to yet. But the first one is just so good because it's like, what makes this game so good? Dice.
Yep.
Let's add more dice. How would you like to chuck 20 dice at the same time every single round and just collect a bunch of stuff? I'm like, that sounds good to me. Please give me that value proposition. Yeah, Space Bucket, limited time at KFC.
It's also so accessible.
It is. It's incredibly accessible, easy teach.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game.
Perfect.
So that was our top 10. I am so glad that you pushed me to do this because it really made me think about my collection. This is subject to change. You know,
for sure.
As we play more, I think we get a better idea of what hits with us, what doesn't.
Yes.
But
we have base level now.
Yes, we have our base Space Base.
Space Base?
Space Base. But it has been such a pleasure recording this with you. I am so glad that we did it and we took the time because this has been absolutely fantastic and I appreciate you taking the time out of your convention to do this. This was awesome.
This is why we're here. For this, just the connection, chatting, all the good things. Thank you for having me on the
always.
podcast.
You're always welcome.
Wonderful. I'm excited to do it again.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Top 10 bag builders.
Top 10 bag builders. Okay. We're going to do it. Well, I certainly hope that you enjoyed that content. We absolutely had a blast making it. I've been hearing your feedback about how you're looking for more of the off-the-cuff, unedited content, so I do hope to deliver that some more in the upcoming year. Now, I've had a great time growing this channel over the past year. I really do appreciate your listenership and your feedback. I do this out of a labor of love, and the friendships I've made with many of you and the people that we've talked to over the past year have been amazing and are very meaningful to me. So thank you for that. Next year might look a little bit different. I'll be out of commission starting in mid-March for a couple of months. My plan right now is to create some fantastic interview content up front with some friends that I've made in March and April. So I'll still be able to release episodes to you on time. They just won't be necessarily the current hottest thing, talking about all sorts of, hip current games. Probably going more towards those past favorites and maybe a few new ones. We'll see. But until then, I look forward to talking with you in the new year. Please have a happy holiday filled with love and time with family, whether that's relatives or your found family. Either are important, either are valid, and I hope that you get to spend the time that you so rightly deserve with your family, whoever that might be, and maybe sneak a few games in there while you're at it. So since we didn't call it out specifically, Roberto's fantastic content can be found at Shear Boardom. That's Boredom spelled Boardom, as well as the Boardvengers. And our website is cardboardtime.com. My Instagram and Twitter are at cardboard_time. Mastodon is at cardboardtime at tabletop.social. And any questions, suggestions, or ideas for discussion topics, please make sure that you email cardboardtime@gmail.com. And as always, thanks again for listening, and we'll see you around the table in 2 weeks in 2023 for another episode of Cardboard Time.